Hi, I'm Kiara Matos. I'm a ceramics artist based in New Haven, Connecticut. I have prepared a video for you to see how I glaze my birds. I hope you enjoy it, and thanks for watching. Okay, I just moved all my birds to the glazing area. This is my glazing table. I have all my buckets over here, as you can see. I have many glazes of different colors, and not only different colors, but different hues of the same color. I really love to do contrast between colors, and I love to use like glossy and matte of the same color in the same pieces, so I keep adding more and more to the repertoire. So birds are here, and I'm gonna show you the first stage, which is sanding. So for my sanding work, I use two different grades of sandpaper. I use 120 to begin with, and then I do 220 to finish the work. And there isn't that much sanding to do, really. These birds are really smooth from the shaping and scraping that I do. So it's just, making sure nothing got stuck while I was grabbing, or a little bit of the leftover scraping work, but mostly they are pretty smooth and ready to go. And you have to remember, these are not, I haven't said that, but these are not molded birds. They are made one at a time. They are hand built. So I don't want them to look that perfect. They will look like they are mold, and that's not the point here. So I do my overall sanding with the 220. I make sure nothing unwanted is there. Sometimes I do have some like ripples on the surface that I wanna smooth out though, because otherwise they look funny after the glaze work is done. So I'll do the 220, then I just make that thinner with the 120, and then the 220. And then of course, once they are done, I wipe the dust out. Really well. I usually wear a mask for this. I'm not wearing a mask because I thought we have seen enough masks around lately. So, but if I was to sand all these birds right now for you, I would be wearing a mask. Okay, so I sanded everything, and I'm just wiping the dust out, making sure there's no dust anywhere, since any dots, pockets would keep the glaze from adhering to the clay, and then make up for glaze defects. The main defect that would cause is glaze crawling, which is when you find these areas in the glaze where the glaze comes off the piece and leaves the clay uncovered, and it's not smooth. It does happen sometimes, and sometimes it's not even that terrible. It just adds a little personality to the piece, I think, but we try to avoid it. If it happens, we try to look at it with good eyes, but we aim at not having any glaze crawl. So I really reach, on the edges, the bendings, all the area around the beak, the area where my stamp is, and all the details on the tail. Wipe, wipe, wipe. Usually I need to wash my left hand, which is the one I use for holding, because the dust starts to adhere to it, and then I feel like it might leave it on the piece again. So every once in a while I switch hands and I make sure we are not dirty with dust. Okay, and as you may imagine, after I wipe this clean, I will leave at least 2 hours go by. Let 2 hours go by before I start glazing the pieces, so I get rid of that extra moist sure I just added by wiping them clean. Okay, we'll be back in a little while. Okay, so glazing birds. The first thing you need to know about my work with birds is I'm not looking at birds as an ornithologist. I'm looking at birds in terms of design and color. So I'm not trying to replicate birds. I'm just trying to make color combinations that are pleasing and designs and lines that work well together. So what happens next is I want to transfer my sketch ideas into the birds. And what I do is literally I will grab the bird, I will pick the design, and I will write black on the head, yellow on the wing, aqua on the tail, bronze detail on the back. All those little guidelines will be transferred to the bird. And so I have prepared birds at different stages to show you how the process goes. So all the birds are ready. They have been dipped in all the different glazes that give them all the different details. Those are the stilts I put them in order to fire them, because they are glazed all over, so I have little wire spiders. I don't know if there is another name for that. And they are all ready to go in the kiln. Kiln opening time. What can I tell you? You just hope everything works the way you planned it. It, for the most part, it does. Sometimes there are incidents, hopefully today is not one of them. Here it is. As you can read there, it took 14 hours to get to the firing, and it is at 33 degrees Celsius now, which is about 80 Fahrenheit. And here we go. Deep breath. Oh, there you go. They all stayed in place. So that's good news. Welcome back. So the birds are on the table. We unloaded the successful firing. Yay! And now I'm gonna show you how I do the gold luster on them. Okay, so all the work in this table is work that is glazed and needs a gold detail. And that includes the birds, of course, that's why we're here. And I'm just gonna show you how I do the gold detail. This is a tricky part of the process just because the tint, you know, the luster is a very messy liquid. Well, that was close. Very unexpected too. Okay, let's keep going. So, gold luster. There's a bright one and a premium one. I find that the premium one is better quality and I like the finish of it better. I also, when I do gold detail, I like to leave the area that I'm going to do the detail on unglazed, so it has a matte finish as opposed to a glossy finish. It works well on matte glazes, but if you put gold luster on a glossy glaze, it is scaringly shiny, and I don't like that. Let me show you. So this is a piece I already did the paint on, and it's really cool because it's blood red, and then when it gets fired, it becomes gold. You know, it's a chemical process I'm not familiar with, but it's fantastic. It is actual gold, and it will be gold after the firing. So I have my brush ready. I have my luster ready, and I'm going to grab one of these guys. So I dip the brush, and with a steady hand, I'll look support of course for my elbows. I start applying the luster. I have to be very careful not to get the tips of my fingers stained, because then if I don't see it happen, I may leave a trace of the luster elsewhere and it's going to stain the piece. It's also really hard to clean it once you apply it, so you have to be super careful with this thing. For the sake of the length of the video, I'm not gonna go extra, but I do go around and make sure that line is perfectly sharp, and I fuss with it until it's pleasing enough that I can't stop. Okay, so the gold luster firing is done, and I have unloaded most of the work, and I only have the birds left. So we're gonna check on them. Let me see, so many beautiful pieces to take out. I think I'm gonna go for this one and show you. All right, so this one is not a beak, but look at that beautiful gold detail on the side. I love this one. It's almost like a penguin-like bird. Okay, this is it. Now the next stage will be mounting them on the wood block, and I'll show you how that's done Next.
Beach and teak.
This is my friend Tim. He's gonna cut wood blocks for me. This is his shop filled with work to do. Okay, so he was busy and he could finish one block for us, which I'll show you how I'll use on the bird. Next. Okay, so we're back in the studio and I have the blocks ready. I have birds ready in different stages, and I'll show you how the blocks and birds get assembled, and we will be done with the birds. So as you can see, I make a hole in each bird. These are the marks from the stilts, but this is where the brass piece will go. So I have a brass screw that goes through the bird and through the block, and I just use epoxy to get those two pieces joined together and stay in place. I will do that next. Once the screw is in the block and it has epoxy on it, I will fill this hole here with epoxy, and I just place that in the block. I help the piece go all the way, and that will be a finished bird once it's glued. I don't need to show you how to glue with epoxy. I bet everyone is very familiar, but that's it. That's how the birds happen. Okay, so they are done. Now they're glued together. These are as many as I could finish with the blocks I had. And that's it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a pleasure to hang out with you.